Hello and welcome to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Hello. Welcome to the podcast, Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. We are excited to be here today. We're having a great week, a great coaching week, and now we get to take about a half hour and sit in the recording studio and just chat. Hey, Coach, how are you doing today?
I am wonderful.
You doing good?
It's a lovely day. It's about a full moon, so I'm feeling that from the attitudes of my children in the summer. But other than that, we got the goodness of outdoors.
Yeah. And we're in the middle here in Indiana of a massive heat wave.
Oh, yes.
So right in front of our house this morning, we had noticed our road is kind of caving in since this heat wave. And so we got a little concerned this morning and called the mayor and said, should we check this in front of our house? So if you hear any banging or clumping or anything in the studio today, it's just a tractor outside ripping up our road.
My goodness.
We're grateful for it. We're grateful for it because last summer, one block over, they had a sinkhole. And
oh, wow.
Yeah. So
you guys need to move.
Well, I tell my husband that every day, but we paid off the house.
That's true. You don't need to move. And then on my side, the clunking and screaming might be children. So it's summertime.
Summertime children. Yeah. We either have a choice of pausing our podcast for the summer or going on with the show. So
why not?
I'm thinking we go on with the show.
Yeah. I mean, we can be as professional as we can be, but then there's the realization that we are in our studio and it's in our house.
It's in our house. Exactly. So we carry on with the show. And we also discovered the mute button, of which I didn't know was there last week, that I could have muted the tippy taps of our Great Dane tippy tapping all through the studio.
Well, you can't necessarily mute yourself when you're talking and the tippy tapping is happening.
No. You can't. So I kicked the tippy tapper out this week. I have the black Great Dane here with me, and he doesn't know anything about how to lay down quietly. So every once in a while, you'll hear a thug.
Yeah, I see him. It might be soon.
It might be soon. And he twirls around, but we don't hear the tippy tapping. We hear a thump.
Oh, the joys.
Goodness. We have a fun topic to talk about today. It's one I think that brings a lot of frustrations to so many quote dieters. And it's something that as we coaches have gone through our practice, we have found that we can pretty much pinpoint any one of these with our clients. And so we're going to entitle this show, The Failed Five. And I don't know who coined this first. I don't know if it was Dr. Mindy Pelz. I think it was her. She talks about these in her book, Fasting Like a Girl. But we're going to expound on them a little bit because we believe that this is a really, really important topic to get a hold of before you start your health journey, so you don't have the frustrations that most of us feel every day. Right. You see, most of us have been professional dieters. We have been doing this our entire life. And because we have done that, we have damaged our bodies. And so the majority of clients who come to us have to go through a healing process before it even begins. And some of that healing process is breaking down the failed five. So we're going to just start the show off today. This is going to be a pretty quick podcast because it's to the point. There's really no emotion attached to it. If you are one of these, or if you are five of these, you understand why your diet, air quote, is failing. And I'm going to take back what I just said about the emotion because number one,
we're emotional people.
That, yes. And it's a full moon.
It
And
is.
number one makes me mad. It
It
makes me
does.
very, very angry.
This is my
So,
nemesis.
after number one, after the first one, we may calm down a little bit because
Uh,
we go into science. But the
mhm.
number one failed five of dieting is calorie restriction.
Oh, yes.
Darcy, do you know the top two diets that highlight this one by chance?
Well, I know one.
Okay, talk about it. Talk
Do I
about
want
it.
to though?
Yes, we do. We're going to
Are
call
we
them
talking
out.
about the O company?
Uh-huh. The O company.
The O
Yep.
company?
Let's call them out.
I'm just gonna call. I think it's either Optavia or Optavia. I don't even.
Optavia, the most dangerous diet on the human planet right now.
Yes, yes.
Not sorry about it.
No, because here's the thing. Like I've had my hands on some of their products, and those products are the number top three ingredients is soy-based
Soy.
products. And they're not like, and they're encouraging them to eat their products, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, that's what a company does is eat our
Mm-hmm.
products and you're going to lose weight. They get these clients to eat these cardboard type meals that are under, what is it, 900, 800
900 to
calories.
1100 calories.
And
1100 is the top that I've heard.
and I understand that it is based on what they think the person needs and how to lose this weight. And most people, when they go on a diet, they want to lose quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So they're choosing to um, have these meal choices that are going to basically starve them from nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
starve them from the calories. And the way I see calories is it's not just a calorie in, calorie out. I see calories as energy for our body.
Fuel. Absolutely.
It's fuel. So when we are starving our bodies and also our bodies are moving, they use those calories to
Mm-hmm.
function, to spread the minerals and nutrients around to our other organs. When we are not giving the appropriate amount of calories to our bodies, no wonder why our world is dragging their feet, not world, I'm going to
Exactly.
say Americans are
Americans, right.
dragging their feet, shoving their face with coffee, energy drinks,
Mm-hmm.
complaining about, I just don't have the energy. If I only had energy. Well, you would have energy if you
Mm-hmm.
did the proper way
Right.
of feeding your body.
Well,
And
let's go
it's
back a
not.
few sentences ago and let's talk about the number one ingredient. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you and I have just done a massive study on women's bodies and their hormones. The number one ingredient in this product is soy. Soy is
Mm-hmm.
the most damaging ingredient you could put in your body if you are a woman.
Yes.
It messes with the estrogen. It messes with every single hormone that you have in your body and sets you off into this path of, I believe it's why we have all of this infertility, all of the PCOS, all of these women's hormones issue because we are putting soy in our body.
Not only soy, but corn-based
Oh
products
my
too.
word. Yeah.
These two products are so lacking in
Mm-hmm.
the nutritional department. And if you think about it, why is it, if you sit back and you think about all the food in your ingredients in your pantry, you think, okay, why is it that corn and soy of all different sorts, corn fiber,
Mm-hmm.
soy fiber,
Corn syrup.
corn syrup, all those things are in every single one of those pantry held type of foods.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Right. It's cheap.
It's cheap
Mm-hmm.
and it's not nutritionally great for your body.
No, it's not.
And they're making big bucks out of you from using this.
Massive, massive. I went and did a fake order one time because I'm like, what are these people spending on this stupid product? And it is
Mm,
in the 400s a month. And yet they tell us we are expensive because they can't afford our coaching, that it's half
yeah,
that cost and permanent.
right.
They don't gain the weight back. But let's also talk about the calorie restriction in this. Ladies and gentlemen, your thyroid is the seat of weight loss. It is the seat of everything in your body. Your thyroid needs 1,200 calories to stay alive. 1,200 calories. So this company is killing thyroids. And people come to us saying, well, I have hyperthyroidism, I have a hypothyroidism, I can't lose weight. Of course, you can't lose weight. It's the seed of your weight loss journey, but you killed it with the yo-yo dieting. Now, can it be fixed? Absolutely.
Yep.
But not with calorie restriction. And here's another thing. If I had a soapbox sound effect,
yeah, we need to figure that out.
We really need to figure out how to do that on Zoom, because let me tell you, what is happening, and shame on the health coaching industry for this. People are deciding, we're going to make a little move over here to the weight loss shot.
Oh, is that the second
by the
one?
way, oh yeah. Which, by the way, I tried it. I tried that. I asked my doctor to put me on it because I needed to figure out a way out for people. I needed to figure out what our clients were meaning when they were saying the food noise goes away, what was going on in their bodies. So I can tell you, I couldn't eat over 800 calories. 800. So what is happening with the calorie restriction is we are crashing our metabolisms. We are putting our body into what's called homeostasis at a low calorie energy level. And so anything you eat over 800 calories when you come out of this big black hole is going to put weight on your body. And so, but here's where I'm mad. Here's where I'm really mad. These health coaches, including in our genre of low carb and of holistic health, these health coaches are encouraging, because it is really cool to say our clients lost over 20,000 pounds and we are so excited. To have those numbers behind your stats in marketing is like this power trip, right?
Right.
We don't do that. We don't go down that path, because it is, I don't care about that. I don't care how many pounds our clients have lost. What I care about is, are they 7 years later still losing that weight and still keeping that weight off? But what health coaches are doing, and it's very sneaky, and I'm going to expose it with everything I have, is they're encouraging their clients to get on the shot because it pads their numbers. It pads their numbers of, oh, my clients have lost this amount of weight. Well, of course they did. They're starving themselves because they're on the shot. Right. That's not real health care right there. That is not real health coaching. And shame on our industry for doing that.
Do you think that these coaches are doing this, especially the ones that are more of like the intuitive, like eat whatever you want? Because those are the key words that people are drawn to when it comes to marketing too. Like lose this much weight in this amount of time and eat whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
And that, my dear friends,
oh my gosh,
not okay.
It's not okay. I just got an email a couple weeks ago from one of those intuitive eating coaches, and she's like, send me a picture of you drinking your rosé because it is no track summer. And she's all about that. Well, you know
what?
I told you before we started this podcast today that this was just a point blank science lesson, that there was no emotion.
No emotion. remember that one time when I laughed because I knew that wasn't factual?
It makes me mad. It makes me mad because people are victims in this. And it's people like our clients. We currently have about six people in our program right now healing from Optavia, whatever it's called. Healing. But not only are they healing in the calorie restriction area, they're healing from an eating disorder. Right. Because in their mind, if they eat anything over 1,100 calories, they're putting on weight. That is disordered eating, my friends. And if it's the last thing I do as a health coach, and if everybody fires me over this, I will go out with a successful flag on my shoulder, because this is abuse. This is it is very, very bad marketing, and it is abuse. And I won't participate in it. If you want a healthy weight loss program where we're going to heal body, mind, and spirit, we're going to get rid of those disordered eating thoughts, and we're going to get rid of the damage that you've caused to your body from all of this yo-yo dieting, Coach Darcy and I are your people. Otherwise, every time I talk about Optavia, I get some of my Facebook friends messaging me saying, we're supposed to support each other as coaches, of which I do, by the way. Yeah. You give me a health coach, even if it's paleo, if it's Mediterranean, if it is even macro-based, I am standing arm in arm with them. I will not stand arm in arm with an Optavia air quote coach, because they are not coaches. They do not understand the body's functions. So that was the emotional first failed 5 of calorie restriction.
Which rolls into our second one of poor food quality. That goes hand in hand.
This one's not going to be emotional either.
No. Why did you say that?
Oh dear.
This is just science,
probably
guys.
number 3. Number 3 is going to be
Okay.
the key of non-emotion.
Right.
But poor quality food is number
Whatever.
2.
I don't believe it. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, the poor food quality, you've got, go ahead. You talked about, I mean, the obesogens that
Yes.
are sprayed on our foods,
Yes.
Which what we think about corn and soy, they have, and this is an interesting story I learned from a farmer. And I'm gonna point this out because I was incorrect. Like I was, and I will call myself out. Like I learned about the Roundup Ready corn that they use on all the corns that, and I thought that it meant like it needed the Roundup for the corn to grow. That's not necessarily the case. This farmer corrected me. He's like, no, we are having to spray the Roundup to prevent the weeds around the corn and the bugs, but it does not destroy the plant itself. So it doesn't destroy the corn plant, but it's destroying everything around it. But every single year, they're having to tweak this because the plants and the bugs are adapting to this Roundup. And so if you're thinking about poor food quality, we're thinking about the pesticides that are being sprayed on our foods, and they're being able to tolerate it.
Yeah.
Like what is that saying about our food?
Kind of like an antibiotic, adaptation. People adapting to that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But these obesogens are called exactly that because they are making us obese, because what they do is these foreign objects are going into our bodies, and you're like, oh, this body's like, oh, what is this new thing I have? And what it doesn't just get rid of it. It's like a hoarder. It's like, well, we were raised in this era of collecting something. And as an artist, this is what I do too, is I collect something. I see it's unique, and then I save it for later, just in case I need it.
Future.
So I store it. And then after you keep storing things, what does that do to your area?
Yeah. You get on this show called hoarding.
You get on the show called hoarding, but that's what your body's doing. It transfers this foreign object and stores it for later because it doesn't know what to do with it. It thinks it's maybe kind of cool, maybe not, and then it stores it as fat. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fat around our organs, fat around our midsection, all those.
And even this is not just accidentally done with farmers and with, the sprays. We want to increase the food supply. This is done intentionally in labs with people. If you read the book, The Dorito Effect, you will get an inside picture as to what they are planning on doing, or what they do to your food to make you become addicted to it. That's the number one problem we have as coaches, is we have clients, and I was one of them, who were addicted to these obesogens, to these chemicals in food that make you want to come back and want more.
Right. They put it on the packaging. Like you can't just have one.
Yeah, exactly. They don't even lie.
They don't lie about it.
They tell you the plan. These ketchup tasting Pringles, or these, the Doritos, all of those different flavors, that is intentional.
Yeah.
100% intentional. They allow it in food to make you insulin resistant, which will have you coming back for more. And where do you find these? Where do you find most of these foods? Minus the farmer spraying, minus that aspect, but you find them in the middle of the grocery aisle. The biggest problem that Coach Darcy and I have when we coach is not changing a client's food habits. It is changing the convenient habit. So the convenience habit is just as dangerous as the obesogens and as these toxins that are put in the food, because we are so busy that we don't want to take the time to make something. I noticed this really specifically as I went carnivore. I'm doing a carnivore experiment. People ask us all the time, are you still keto coaches? Absolutely, we are. That's the foundation of everything we teach. But I found even when I went carnivore, I noticed the convenience addiction. Like
Mm-hmm.
now I have to, if I want to fancy up my lifestyle. Yesterday I made some bread, some carnivore bread with the cottage cheese and all of that. And it took me a while to do that. You know, I had to put it in the oven for 40 minutes and it was annoying to me. So convenience is another, thing that goes
Oh,
right along with the poor quality of food.
yes.
So y'all only walk the perimeter. Don't even allow yourself to go inside the grocery aisles. That's where the addiction happens. That's where the obesogens are. That's where all of that poor quality food is. So that wasn't as emotional as the first one.
No,
Makes me
it's
mad.
still, but for the years that I've known about the food and the genetically modified, I
Mhm.
get on soapboxes for that.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just, I'm just choosing to stay off of it today.
Well, I am working with my congressman. I love him. I love his staff, I think, more than I love him. But I'm working with them currently on the whole lab meat um
Yeah.
crisis that we're having. And they are stunned at what they're finding. And I'm going to be stepping into a world again of politics that I didn't want to step into, but I want to know if that meat was created in the lab or not. I want to
Right.
know which farm, what name that cow had before it goes onto my plate. And
Well,
so, yeah.
that and because I'm gonna share this story. I've been noticing that my chicken that I am
Mm-hmm.
getting from the store, that
Mm-hmm.
supposedly fresh chicken, not fresh because it was obviously packaged,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like this, it's already shredded before I
Yes.
cook it. And this is a
Yes.
chicken breast. And to me, I don't ever recall chicken breast being shreddy like that
Uh-huh.
before.
Stringy. Yeah.
Stringy.
It's
And
gross.
and then when I'm cooking it, I don't know if it's because I'm just cooking it and it's not long enough,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a crunch
Mm-hmm.
into my chicken breast. That to me is not normal.
Mm-mm.
I don't mean, I feel like based on that knowledge, we should be questioning this.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
This is where the questions come up. Like, this is
Yeah.
not okay. This is
Thomas
not
Jefferson, question
everything.
everything, even the existence of God. Question everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing with my congressman, and they're really, really helping me pull up some data, pull up some research, and if some action needs to be taken, by golly, I'm going to step in there. I'm going to fight
Yeah.
for our clients. Our
Yeah.
clients have faces and names, and I want to fight for every single fiber of their journey, and that is one
Right.
of them. So,
And go out and support those people,
mm-hmm,
those people that are influencers on the internet that
mm-hmm,
are doing their research on
yes,
these products and these
yes,
companies, and you're noticing that they're all owned by like top 5
yep,
mega companies.
yep.
So just make sure that you are doing your
or
research.
or the multi-level marketing people,
Oh
the
yeah.
people that our clients who we are discovering when we're asking them to give up their supplements. A lot of them have been so entwined in finding these multi-level marketing companies, and they're taking all of these vitamins because they're being told this is the best thing for you, this is real food. And then when
That
we
was me.
look at them and look at the ingredients, we're like, no, this isn't. You're just feeding their pocketbook. That's all you
Hmm.
are. I gave up all supplements and I have never felt better in my life.
Right.
Never.
And they
So,
try to convince you, those MLM
oh,
companies try to
oh
convince you
yeah.
that this is not a triangle. I don't even know what the word is, the tiered where
Uh-huh.
the rich get richer.
Oh, it
But it
is.
is.
It is. And then they'll also
No
tell
way
you
you look at that
my
and no.
MLM that I worked for said, oh, that's a different kind of maltodextrin. Now, come on.
Okay.
That works differently in your body. No,
Yeah.
no, actually, ma'am or sir, that's because the filler of maltodextrin made your product cheaper so you could get richer. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was a little emotional. So the first on the failed five is calorie restriction. The second is poor quality food. The
Hmm.
third is one that I had not, as a health coach, found a solution to, and that is cortisol spikes because
Mm.
people are addicted to stress. But
Yes.
that is number three in your failed dieting attempts. When you have cortisol spikes all day long, you can guarantee you're going to remain unhealthy and obese. So when you are stressed, metabolic health is impossible. Y'all, you're going to have to give it up. You're going to have to say no. You're going to have to take your health in your own hands and stop being superwoman to everyone and say, you know what? I'm first right now. And by me putting me first right now, that puts actually you on top and you being first, right? Darcy, what is your biggest frustration when it comes to the cortisol spikes and when you think about working with our clients on a daily basis and you think about this one? What is your most frustrating thing you have to do as a coach?
I have to tell them to put themselves first. Yes. Which is really challenging because they don't know how to do that. Mm-hmm. They feel obligated to put every event, every situation, every person ahead of themselves because for some reason, somewhere along the lines in the timeline of historical timeline, we have felt obligated to be people pleasers and to care that we are not being selfish with our time. And, they have complete access, 24-hour access to us via our phones now. Mm-hmm. Yes. So there is the idea that they're going to be selfish if they don't put other people first. Yeah. And they don't want that. And I get that. Nobody wants to be selfish. No. But I can tell you one thing, it is selfish to not put yourself first and your health first because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You can try. Yeah. But it's just going to be dust.
Well, and I tell our clients it's like one alcoholic talking to another one when we talk to them about stress, because I have had to learn, even running this company, I have had to learn, number one, to tell my team to take a day off. Number two, to tell me to take a day off. Number three, for me to put business hours up because we are so connected with our cell phones. My clients can get a hold of me anytime. And my temptation is to be there the minute they need me. And so my self-care goes down the tube because I love my job so much. I love my clients so much that sometimes I put my own health aside to take care of them. So it is like one alcoholic talking to another when it says, when it comes time to saying, okay, say no, use your no muscle, Yeah, we're at the gym working out. We're working out our what we're putting in our bodies, but then we're saying yes to everything. Mm-hmm. Who said we had to say yes to every classroom ask from the teacher? We don't have to do that.
There's a tribe for a reason, right? There's multiple people for a reason.
Who says
you don't need to take it all on?
What about church? Oh, yeah. That one's a side comment, Monica, because you got to say yes to Jesus. No, actually, you can put boundaries around yourself doing those things at church as well. Yeah. So that's the number 3 reason for the top failed 5 diets is you're not willing to get your cortisol under control. Number 4 is a little bit newer to me because when we lost the weight, you and I have gone through different journeys where now we're biohacking and now we're thinking, okay, what do we like? What do we need to toss? And this is one that we are just now kind of delving into, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the results that I'm getting. I'm loving the truth that we're learning, but that is toxins. So the first one is calorie restriction, top failed 5 diets. Number 2, poor quality food. Number 3, cortisol. And number 4, toxins. So do you want to take us down that toxin route? You are a little bit ahead of me on this one because you really, you started being ahead of me when you told us when you were like one of those liberal hippies that I thought you were. But listen to your body, Monica. Your body talks to you. I'm like, okay, all right. Yes, it does. So
it does if you allow it.
Ahead of me. Yeah.
Yes. Well, based on it started with the
I love liberal hippies, by the way. That was not a bash at all.
No. Well, for me, it started with the genetically modified, when I found that out. But here's the thing. Those types of things start to become overwhelming. When you start to think about all the toxins in your world, and there's some of them that you cannot necessarily prevent because we live here well, if you live in America, that's like we're like plastic people now. But we are surrounded by toxins. And so I wanted to focus on everything at once, but I quickly became overwhelmed. I quickly decided that I was going to start small. And those are things like, you know, the products that we put on our skin. We don't even think about that because our skin is our biggest organ and it absorbs everything in our environment. So the products that we put on our skin, our hair, our feet, like all those things, because what we put in our body also matters, based on vaccinations, I said the V word, sorry. Apparently it's a swear word nowadays. But those and the drinks that we're consuming, our foods, the products that we're eating in the center aisle that are preservatives and those words that we can't pronounce, all of those are toxins that are entering our body. And that goes back to the obesogens that our body doesn't know what to do with. Even when our body absorbs those toxins, they don't know what to do with it. So it's going to store it as far as our bones, it's storing, right?
Yeah.
So,
when they come in our body, they're either stored or they're released. And so this term detox pathway is a really important one for our audience to understand because those toxins need a way out. And the detox pathway, when you start to hear that term, and our clients are going to be hearing that term more and more and more, because we need a way to get those toxins out in our bodies, like you said before, have adapted to holding on to them. They're like, oh, we know who you are. We're going to hold on to it. Mm-hmm. So our bodies need a way out, right?
Yeah. My favorite thing that I learned recently about women's cycles is that is our form of detoxing.
Yes.
And they have unfortunately found microplastics in our menstrual blood.
Yeah.
And for those women that are not able to menstruate, I can't even say words.
Everybody's
right now.
all happy about that. Yeah. Like, oh, I don't have a period. I don't have a period.
But your body's not able to detox from all the things that it absorbed in that month, right?
And they found those people on IUDs and the people who don't have a cycle are just packed full of heavy metals, packed full of all of these poisonous toxins. And so, so that is what, we're looking at a crisis right now with all of these women who are getting early hysterectomies and on these birth controls where they don't have a cycle.
And nobody's talking about the feminine products that we're putting on and on our bodies too, every single month.
Right.
Oh,
right.
I mean, maybe they are talking about it, but I'm not in that, that conversation yet.
All I hear in my world is I need to lose weight. That's all until the client does lose weight and they're able to focus on, like you said, one thing at a time. So when you look at these top 5 failed diets, you have to take them one at a time because you get overwhelmed. So Darcy, let's talk about some of these. We're not going to talk about them all because there's a lot that we use with our clients. And we don't want to give all the trade secrets away, but there are some detox pathways that we work with our clients on that some of our audience listeners could, say, you know what, I can't do everything, but I can do this one thing. So talk to us about a couple of the different detox pathways that these toxins are able to leave our body.
Yeah. My favorite that I've been working on that I've forgotten and I'll remember, and then it's the dry brushing. That one is my top favorite, only because it does multiple things. It also can touch the lymph massage part that we can also pinpoint on. So our lymph nodes are a great place to kind of get rid of those toxins and release with certain areas that we're rubbing on our necks, not our shoulders, our chest here. You can't see me, our chest plate. Our underneath our armpits. If I like the phrase, if you have puffs, then you gotta work on those lymph nodes versus pits, right? You need a pit in your armpit,
right,
instead of a puff.
Yeah, because the lymph nodes hold on to all of those toxins. That's why when you say when you talk about cancer and they say it went to the lymph, that's a really bad thing because that's where it's stored, and that's what you got to massage out of you. So the lymph massage, we take our clients through a head to toe procedure to do that.
Yes.
Right.
And the dry brushing, you can do that at the same time. But with the dry brushing, you are taking the dead skin off. If you're losing, this is great for while you're losing weight because you are putting some more elasticity in your skin. So with getting that dead skin off and moving those, using it to get the lymph areas, brushing that area, it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
I see a
Well, and
difference
you
in my
can do it
skin.
while you're brushing your teeth. So it's also one that doesn't take up a lot of your
Well, if you
time.
can
You can,
multitask,
right.
you have to be able to
Like
multitask,
rubbing your
brushing your
belly
teeth
and
and,
yeah,
and patting
yeah.
your head.
Maybe that doesn't work.
I mean, you could do
Oh,
it at about the same time.
yeah. Yeah.
But do you have a specific one that you like to do?
Yes. Well, one of the biggest thing, in the toxins, the biggest thing I took away from our certification process with Dr. Mindy was it and the easiest thing. And I literally, when I learned this, I went out to my kitchen, I opened my drawer with the pots and pans, and I saw
Mm,
non-stick. That is the worst toxin that you can put in your body. It's like just filling your body with cancer. So, to our audience members, send us a picture, tweet or Instagram us or Facebook us if you've listened to this with a picture of you throwing your Teflon pans in the trash. I paid a lot of money. I don't like to make eggs that are sticky, right? And so I
right.
loved my pans. That is the number one thing to get out of your house when you're getting rid of toxins in your life. Now, we have a whole list of them. We don't have time to go over them today, but that's my favorite one because it was the
Mhm.
easiest. It was just
Yeah,
a walk to the kitchen into the trash. So that's one of the things. That's the first thing we tell our clients to do. Go do an inventory of your kitchen.
right.
Second is get rid of all the plastic in your kitchen. Plastic is the one that is the preventer of testosterone in men
Oh yeah.
and women, and
And
it's a
heated up
blockage.
water bottles.
Heat it up. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
If you leave a water bottle, it's like this is a
Oh my
simple one. Don't
gosh.
leave your water bottles.
In
Don't
the
drink out of water
car.
bottles, plastic, but don't leave them in the car while it heats up and then cools off. I
Yeah.
mean, I know people do it all the time.
Yeah.
So
There's
don't do
so
that.
many things you can do to open those detox pathways to stop putting toxins in your body to help you release the body fat that you want to release. Your body is not going to release the body fat if you've got toxins in there.
Yeah.
The last one that we're going to talk about today is one of my favorite because it's why we are coaching. A lot of people think that one size fits all, even in the low carb world. So,
Yeah.
even in the low carb world, because Darcy and I are keto coaches, do you know we have several clients who are not on keto? We have several clients who are on a different lifestyle because the the 25-year-old woman is not a 65-year-old woman. We have different needs. We have different things that work differently in our bodies. We have different likes. We have different dislikes. And so if we go into a one size fits all category, and Darcy and I did this for years, we've been in active coaching practice for 6 years now, almost 7 years.
Mhm.
And we used to believe one size fits all. Just take away the carbs, just put them on 20 carbs. That's all we have to do. No, not necessarily. We have different clients with different needs, and we have to. That's why we have such an important intake process. That's why we have such an important meeting with our clients every week, because there are times that I will say, you know what? It is time for you this week to put in a potato. It is time for you this week to do this, to do that. And so, not everyone is on the same lifestyle. The diet we used when we were 25 is not the diet we use now.
Mhm.
So, what are some of your examples of some things that you have tweaked that people would associate with a keto diet that were like, oh, actually, we have 4 clients on this lifestyle? Do you have any of those?
My favorite is the ageless keto or
Oh,
our
yeah.
fasting like our flag. That's what
Our
we call
flag. Yep.
it.
Yep.
Fasting like a girl.
Yep.
That one was a game changer for me
Mm-hmm.
because you're learning how to eat God's creation in
Mm-hmm.
the proper way
Proper with
and
hormones.
while balancing your hormones.
Yeah.
And I have seen such an improvement in my cycle. I
Mm-hmm.
have seen that it's just like it's not a nuisance anymore. I know it's coming,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
Yeah.
not as terrible as it
Yeah.
was
It is
before. I
so
didn't realize how terrible it was
yeah.
until I
So you did it.
experienced this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so important to us, and it was such a life changer that we invested a lot of money into the company to go get certified for this because um, our women that we coach need this. They
Yeah.
need it drastically. And so we are getting ready to launch this brand new program for women. It's not going to be a cheap program.
Right.
I'm just going to tell you up front, this is so intensive, and we work so closely with the clients. We change their life so much. This is going to be an investment for them. And
Yeah.
so, on the front side of things, we have to say it's not going to be a cheap program. This is an intensive healing program where you will turn your life around.
Yeah.
And so we're excited. Within the next month, we're gonna release this to the general population. We're gonna walk alongside Dr. Mindy Pelz, as she has certified us, and we're doing our program. We are
Yeah.
all in with this because we have watched the transformation of women getting their cycles back.
Yeah.
Of
That's a passion. Like
Yeah.
we're in a pandemic with
Oh,
women and their health, and or is it an epidemic? I'm not sure if
epidemic.
it's an
I don't know what's
it's
up.
one of those.
Yeah.
It's a serious thing based on the fact that these women are either getting into a postmenopausal phase at a
Mm-hmm.
very young age versus not being able to have a regular cycle, not being able to have babies,
Mm-hmm.
and their
Infertility should not be happening
infertility.
like
No.
it is right now.
So I am super passionate because I've seen lives change. We've
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of
Five.
we've had babies here
Five keto
based
babies.
on so it is possible. It is, and so we are passionate. We are like and I'm feeding off of Dr. Mindy's passion of telling the world that
Mm-hmm.
this can be reversed.
Yes.
You just need to put the work and effort into it and be serious about it
Mm-hmm.
and have had enough of how our society is allowing us to live
Yeah.
and pushing it on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, you don't have to live in this unhealthy world. You do not have to be given a diagnosis of hopelessness. You don't have to be given a diagnosis of obesity, of type 2 diabetes, of PCOS. You don't have to take that. You don't have to take it from your doctor. You don't have to take it from society, from big pharma. You can take your life into your own hands and change your health. You've got to be willing to be all in, and you've got to be willing to do hard things. Was it easy losing 120 pounds? No, it was not easy at all. Was it easy keeping it off? I can promise you every day I wake up and say, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. But it is also the most important thing that I've ever done. And we're watching lives change all over the world in our program. So if you are frustrated with your health journey, if you are frustrated with how your life has felt like it's fallen apart, felt like there's hopelessness. You've tried all of the diets in the book. You have done everything and nothing's working. Maybe you haven't tried this. Our interest is not putting $20,000 on the docket of KM Health Coaching and celebrating that number. Our celebration is 7 years later when our clients, number one, come back and coach for us. Number two, keep off the weight. But even more importantly than that, understanding why and how they're keeping off the weight. And so if that's you, we're here for you. I would encourage you, if you are interested in, if you are a woman who is like, what are they talking about with the hormones? What are they talking about? You mean I can fix my cycle? What are they talking about? I would encourage you. We've not released the link yet, but you can get on a waiting list. We're going to take clients one at a time because it is such an intensive program. It is so what's the word I want to use, Darce? It is such a healing intensive program that it will change your life. And so we do have a waiting list right now for when it opens within probably the next month. We're tying up some loose ends. We're fixing some. Darcy's doing some experimenting as well, based on the carnivore diet and the hormone diet. So yeah, we understand that you have been on a yo-yo. We understand that you have been lied to for the last 50 years on what health is. And it's time to undo that. And it's time to undo that one person at a time. And so that's why Coach Darcy and I are here. Please reach out to us. Go to our website, kmhealthcoaching.org, and you will find a lot of resources on there, including Coach Darcy's website, including my website. Message us, get on our calendar for a free health consult. We will talk you through the process that you need to start, where you need to start. And so the failed 5, I would like to know which one have you tried that you have failed at? We've got the calorie restriction. We've got poor quality food. We've got cortisol. We've got toxic ingredients and the one size fits all. Which one of these have you tripped over? For me, it was all of them. Darcy, do you have any last minute words to say before we close out the show today?
When you come to a program saying, just show me what to eat, that's not going to cut it. So I would go in and look at these top 5 things and see what you need to adjust for yourself and see if there's something. Just start small too.
Show me what to eat last until you go to Olive Garden that night.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
So that's all I have.
All right. Well, we are here every Tuesday morning. Every Tuesday morning, we release a new podcast. Our upcoming one, we're going to talk about the women's cycle. We don't talk about that enough. I didn't know anything about that when I was growing up.
No,
I didn't understand my body. I didn't understand my cycle. And so I wished I had. So our next show, it's going to be a science show. So for all of you nerdy geeky people like I was when I was growing up, the next show on the women's cycle will be just for you. But until next week, we want you to know there's hope, there's healing. Give us a call. We're going to walk you through it.